Before we have our Wednesday evening meditation and prayers, can I just say a very sincere thank you to everyone who texted and emailed and sent cards regarding the death of my father. It was a very difficult time for the last few weeks and months, but we are very grateful for the support that we received from so many people, especially those carers who came in every day to look after him, and also the staff of the Ulster Hospital who nursed him until his death. I just want to say again a very sincere thank you just to everyone for their very kind words and support in this difficult time. Thank you. Thomas Keating's poem, The Secret Embrace. Before being born into the world of time, the silence of pre-existence was all-absorbing. The transition from eternity to time is full of sufferings, fears, and little deaths. But in the transition from death to eternal life, the silence of pre-existence bursts into boundless joy. All that can be manifested emerges from the endless creativity of that which is. But the secret embrace of the source of all creation, with infinite transcendence, can never be revealed. Today I included the title poem, The Secret Embrace, in its entirety. The Anglican priest, the Reverend Cynthia Borshow, comments on one aspect of it in particular. She says, "It is remarkable to trace how Thomas's understanding of God evolved over the last 3 decades of his life. In the 1980s, when his first books and videos were beginning to appear, God was still very much framed within the classic Western model, with God as He, a father figure. Thomas's initial focus during the early years of his teaching was to shift that image away from a fearsome father, the wrathful God who caused so much misery and woundedness for Western seekers, to a divine therapist, supportive, trustworthy, and 100% behind us in our journey of transformation." But by the end of his life, Thomas is in a very different place. God interpenetrates everything. The ocean in drop and drop in ocean, constantly exchanging in a dance of endless fecundity. God is not the author of creation, removed and overarching. The whole thing is God. There is not a single place in all creation where God is not, because God is creation itself, endlessly outpouring, endlessly receiving itself back. From top to bottom, we live and move and have our being in a participative reality, every fractal joined to every other fractal in a symphony of divine becoming, pouring forth from that infinite wellspring. In fact, with one single exception, Thomas does not actually use the word God in his entire collection of poems. It is always the divine, I am, or the source. He clearly did not want what he was trying to say here co-opted back into conceptions of a distant, male-gendered being sitting up there in the heavens. He wanted us to keep our eyes on the big picture. But more important, he wanted us to swim in the ocean. And some people say that Thomas took a turn late in life towards a more Buddhist approach to divinity. But I believe this is not really that accurate. We are not talking about a theology here, but a level of consciousness, universal, across all the religions and accessed primarily through the consistent practice of meditation. To see oneness, it is necessary to see from oneness, with the eye of the heart, not the binary skew of the mind. And from his decades and decades of faithful centering prayer, along with some very courageous and painful inner work, the rewiring of brain and heart that supports this seeing was gradually accomplished within him. These poems are its joyful fruit. They are tiny cameos of what non-duality looks like when approached from a uniquely Western and Christian perspective. a modern psalm of lament in a time of coronavirus. How shall we praise you, Lord our God, when we are locked down? How shall we praise you? When the doors to your house are barred and your people cannot assemble? When those desperately in need of money and work cannot even wait in the marketplace? When we have to circle round people in the street and queue in shops, maintaining safe distance? When we can only communicate by hearing on the phone or seeing on the screen or digitally messaging or even just waving through a window? When we cannot meet our parents and children, grandparents and grandchildren, or other family members and friends? When we cannot touch them in their flesh and blood to know that they are really alive? How shall we praise you? How can I praise you, Lord? Are you plaguing us with this virus to punish us because we have all done wrong, or thought wrongly, or felt wrongly, or just been wrong? If so, why do only some die, and those apparently the ones who are the least worst or most caring amongst us? Or are you trying to teach us a lesson? If so, why is it so hard to learn? And how are we to find the answer when we do not even know the question? Or are you still the same loving God, coming to us in our sufferings and opening up the way to new life? Lord, I will try to praise you through gritted teeth. I will try to praise you. I will try to remember that you have created all things, and this virus is part of your creation. I will try not to hate it, but seek to mitigate its harm. I will try to keep myself and others safe. I will work to pray for them and seek to help in whatever way I can. Lord, when I cannot pray or worship, help me be aware of all of your people and your saints and angels hovering above me, lifting me up. When I feel alone, let me feel you near me, even if it is only for a moment that enables me to go on. Let me hear you say, "Peace be with you." Lord, I will praise you. Let all the peoples praise you.